Hi, my name is John Yunker, and I am going to try something new here with Ecolit Books. I'm going to do a video review of a book that I read and reviewed a few years ago that has stuck with me. And I would like to highlight it because I think more people should read it and discover it. And the book in question is Animal Resistance in the Global Capitalist Era by author Sarat Colling. It was published by Michigan State University Press. And I will caveat this by saying that because it's published by a university press, it's not a book. It might be priced at a level that is higher than you're accustomed to with typical trade books. But there is an audiobook available, which I believe is more affordable. And also what I recommend, if you're curious about this book, if you have a university close by, go to their library and ask about it. And they might already have it. You can also go to your local library and request it. They might purchase it as well. But it is worth reading. It is a book. It is historical. It is highly relevant today, as relevant as hundreds of years ago, because animals have been resisting human oppression pretty much since the very beginning of the, I guess, the quote-unquote domestication of animals. And what we have here on the cover is an illustration of an elephant that has escaped a zoo. And elephants are well profiled in this book. Sadly, this is not the only instance of animals escaping zoos. Animals have been escaping from zoos pretty much from the very beginning of zoos. And I can recommend books later about that go into great detail. Because zoos are pretty horrible places for most animals, if not all animals. Animals want to have space to live, to do what they were born to do, to live their lives. And elephants in particular have extremely limited range and are treated often quite brutally. So this book it shares a lot of stories about a lot of different animal species and how they've resisted and how we as humans have reacted in the media and elsewhere. And I'm going to highlight a few examples. So the first one has a photo from an article in the Seattle Times from, I think it was, 1976. Sam and Luther Sutton escaped chicken. So I'll just read briefly from this. As the article, Escaped Chicken, reports, Sam, the rooster, could have ended up a plastic wrap stewer on a supermarket shelf instead of eating cookies in a service station at 201 4th Avenue South yesterday. Luther Sutton, the station attendant who feeds Sam, said the chicken was shy at first. Now, Sam appears for breakfast when Sutton turns on the lights at 7:30 a.m. Each evening, Sam would go to roost in a nearby building when the station closed at 6 p.m. And each morning he would greet his new friend for the anticipated meal. It wasn't long before Sam was known as someone, and Sarat emphasizes someone. Because what you see here is this chicken has a name, Sam. And what happens when animals resist in scenarios such as this, many times they actually are named by the media, by their caretakers, by their rescuers. And that is really important because we begin to look at them as individuals and not just one of many. And I will read from another example. So for example, this is another story, but Sarat writes, when animals who resist are witnessed, viewed as individuals, they can have the positive effect of inspiring people to live in closer alignment with their values. Runaway farmed animals have won the hearts of animal shelter workers who previously may have only recognized cats and dogs and other traditional companion animals in their circle of compassion. After fleeing from a New York live market in September 2007, a Hereford cow named Maxine was brought to animal care and control and picked up by Farm Sanctuary to live out the rest of her days in their green pastures. A video made by the sanctuary includes an interview with Deanna Capers, an ACC employee of 9 years who was touched by Maxine's flight for freedom. With tears in her eyes, Capers shared the following realization. This morning was really astonishing to me, this sweet, innocent cow running away from being slaughtered. I'd never even thought about it before, and we've been eating this for years. I never pictured this face, and it hurt. So now we are going to work on not eating meat, me and my entire family. This was a life that was saved today. So here we are, a story of animal resistance and a story of a sanctuary stepping up to give this animal the freedom for the rest of her life that she deserves. And the witnesses can be dramatically affected by this, and often for the better. That is why this book is so important, because it takes, for real social change to happen, real change for animals to happen, it takes two. It takes the animals who resist, and it takes the people who notice, who pay attention, who witness, and then advocate for animals. And it is more critical now than ever. Here's another photo of, this happens a lot where there are floods, natural disasters, and else. And such, where animals will be free, and sadly they're often captured again and brought back to their situations unless a sanctuary can get involved. But Sarat writes, the earth has been made into a global animal farm, wreaking havoc on the environment. Since the 1970s, the earth's wildlife population has been cut in half, yet the farmed animal population has tripled. More farmed animals than human beings now inhabit this planet, with approximately 17 billion land animals alive at any given time. Almost impossible to imagine these numbers, and they're massive. I've been researching chickens, and the number of chickens killed each year are over 9 billion. It is a number you just can't even fathom. It is horrifying. And when individual chickens are profiled, rescued, and you get to meet them at a sanctuary, which I hope you are inspired to do, and Sarat writes a lot about sanctuaries, you can realize that the crimes being committed to animals are on a level that we really can't comprehend fully. I can't comprehend fully, and I don't think our society can't comprehend fully. And Sarat goes into great detail about the cognitive dissonance that we as a society, as a world society, have to undergo to separate ourselves and not think about it, just to survive. This can be a challenging book to read, no question. But I do recommend it because this is one of the most important issues of our time, quite honestly. And I am going to read just the last few sentences from this book, and it can be very hard to read these stories, but I feel like there is an optimistic element to this, in the sense that we readers, and we who support sanctuaries, we who advocate on behalf of animals, we are actually, there's a lot happening, and the world is waking up to these stories. So she writes, when celebrating animals' resistance and supporting their bids for freedom, let us remember all those individuals who are unable to share their stories with us. There are currently billions of animals held captive on this planet who are unable to escape, and there will be countless others until we end the war against our fellow beings. We are often taught to turn away from other animals and their struggles, but on the contrary, it is time to turn towards them. Every one of them is an individual. Everyone has a story to share. So this book inspires me, and I hope you will get your hands on it at some point, and it will inspire you just as much. And whether you're a writer, a reader, an activist to be, this is an important book. And thanks for spending some time with me. Bye-bye.